Welcome to Tuesday Talk. Good to see you guys. I know there's nobody on, but
that's okay.
So tonight I have a guest. First Tuesday Talk ever with a guest. This is Nickie or Nicole,
whichever you like.
Sekovich, right?
Yes.
I said it right.
Spell it with a C. Say it with an S.
Okay. Yeah, you said that, and it's stuck in my head. So tonight we are doing some fake cakes. And Nickie has a vendor spot at La Vintage Decor. She makes amazing pop art.
Thank you.
And jewelry, we were just talking about, that I just love. At least one of the pairs of earrings, but I love all of them. I'm just showing everybody all the time. I love it. So, but besides that, one of your other talents, and that's the first thing I ever knew about as far as your talents, but since then I've discovered you're multi-talented, but Nickie is a cake decorator extraordinaire.
About 12 years ago, I was watching the Food Network, and they did the Extreme Cake Challenge. And I've always been in art. I've always been an artist in theater. And I thought, if you can make it out of clay, I could probably make it out of fondant. And my mom bought me a book, and I made my ex-husband a birthday cake for his 30th birthday. And it was a sushi table with sushi on it, and it looked real.
Yeah.
And it was fun. And it's a different medium, but there's so much versatility with fondant as there is with clay.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into it. And I did it for my house, and then everybody, make me cake. So
well, that's really cool. Well, I'm going to be asking you a lot of questions about cakes and how you decorate them, and then we're going to kind of try to simulate it in my world with paper clay and molds and these paper mache boxes. So before that, though, I have some really pressing business to attend to. So if you watch my live videos, you know that I have a Wish obsession. So I'm always ordering things from Wish, and it's just like Christmas all the time because I swear I do it in my sleep. But anyway, I have this strange obsession with eyelashes, although I don't like really big, garish, fake eyelashes. So I just thought, I kind of want to try this. So anyway, I told you before, I ordered magnetic eyeliner and eyelashes, and they came. So as you also know, I have done lots of things live that I never did before, shared with you guys, and epic fails. So this may be one of them. So I have a mirror right here. I'm going to try this. So the whole thing is, and I'm an eyeliner person, so I guess they say you do half of your lid at once and then do the other half. That's probably the best way. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm just going to do this, and we'll see what happens. I'm doing a thin line to get it in thirds.
Yeah, baby
I hope
steps.
It dries quickly. I don't know whether to do both of them or not.
That's pretty good, though.
Thank
the first
you.
try.
I have
had
contacts
it up
in
here
too, so I'm a little nervous.
I'd had it up, and
well, I also am going to do the other lid because then I would be.
You'd be one-eyed.
Yeah. Okay.
You'd be winking at me the whole time.
Left. This is tricky. Okay, you guys all put your mouth open when you're doing.
Yep. Eyeliner and mascara.
Okay. Boy, feels really wet. Okay.
Like this.
I'm not gonna mess around anymore. It's on. Okay. Feels like it's drying. Oh boy. I got a little cat eye going.
Sad cat eye.
Sad cat. Meow. Okay, so check this out. In the container. So I'm just gonna kind of grab one, but look, they're just sticking in there magnetically. So that's what's supposed to happen.
Now, are these little pieces, or is that just one? Is that one big piece?
I think these two are smaller.
Smaller and bigger.
So I'm gonna throw it around.
We're gonna toss them across the room before we put them on our face.
I don't know which side. I guess that. Oh, they stick to each other too.
Oh, now it looks like a centipede.
I don't know whether both sides. I guess either
We want
side.
them to go up.
Okay, so do it this way.
Yep. You're gonna go like that.
All right.
And then put it like that.
Okay. I hope this
Nope.
just let go.
You're gonna close your eye and then set this.
Oh, down.
Yep.
Okay.
So that they
I'm
go.
glad you're here. Well. Okay. Whoa, that's stuck. Oh, okay, it's not. It's not.
It's not stuck.
Okay, they either need to be.
Does it need a thicker line
or something? Check this out. Okay.
Glamorous.
Yeah, isn't
Glamour.
it?
Levon goes glam.
Yeah, this is really glamorous. Okay, so oh boy. Ooh, that one really stuck. Okay, well, I think that this is not gonna stay tonight.
We'll keep working on it.
Yeah, we'll let you know. Work on this. Okay. Meanwhile, I think
be continued.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna
2.
wipe a little off.
Episode 2. Eyelashes continued.
Hi, my hubby's on. He saw the eyelash debacle. Okay. Well, enough of that. Honey, no worries. I don't think the eyelashes are going to be a thing. So, but
Let's see if Tom wears his watch to bed and you wake up and they're stuck to his watch. Take your Tom, take your watch off before you go to sleep.
Okay. All right. Well, enough of that silliness. That was kind of fun.
We're going to do a whole glam episode. Just wait.
All right. So yeah, let's talk about cakes.
Okay.
All right. So when you decorate cakes, what do you start with?
You have to bake your cakes, obviously.
Okay.
You want to freeze them.
So these are our frozen cakes.
These are our frozen cakes.
Okay.
You want a solid base, and you want them leveled.
Okay.
Because unless you're going to be carving or whatever, but fondant mimics whatever you put it over.
Okay.
So it needs something to stick to. So your glue is buttercream icing or sugar icing, whatever.
Okay.
If whatever your preference is.
Buttercream, no doubt, hands down.
Me too. If whatever you're going to put your fondant over, it's going to come through. So if it's bumpy, you're going to see it. You want it smooth. And you can get air bubbles. So just make sure that, you have a nice base to begin with. Just like when you're painting or crafting, you want to make sure that your start is nice and even, nice and smooth.
So would you say, like, what percentage of the cakes that you decorate do you always use fondant?
A lot of people like it because of the finish. It's nice and pretty. You can peel it off if you don't want to eat it. It's made of marshmallow and powdered sugar. So, there's the kids love it. My boys eat it while I'm decorating. But most of the cakes, I've only done a few that are all buttercream. Cupcakes tend to be more just icing because it's harder. You have to kind of do a flat top on a cupcake if you're doing fondant. It's not as fun. But most of the cakes end up with fondant on them.
Okay, well, so we're going to try to simulate the fake cake. So we could, I suppose, roll out paper clay or modeling clay. Oh, my mirror's on there. But I think that would be a big pain. So this is modeling clay, and it certainly can be rolled out. I know it can be rolled out. But in order for us to do a huge amount,
right?
So,
and you have to cover the diameter. So if you're going to cover, say, a 6-inch round, whether it's a box, whatever, you have to cover your sides. Okay. So you're going to kind of double your size there.
Okay.
And that way it goes down over the edges, which we can always do kind of a more in-depth. It's, at some point.
Another time.
Right. Yes. That I bring something already rolled out and show you how
do real cake.
Even if we do a box.
Real gluten-free cake.
Real gluten-free
so
cake.
I can eat it.
And how you smooth it so that you don't get a bunch of ripples. Because, when you put like a tablecloth on a table, a round table, and it ruffles on the sides. You don't want that with fondant unless that's what you're going for. So you have to kind of smooth it out. But as far as once you have your covering, the decorating part is what I dive into. And you can sculpt, you can use, your molds, you can cut, you can pinch, you can do anything. And you can actually paint just like you do with your clay. You can paint fondant with food coloring.
Well, let's get into it then. Okay. Now, do you suppose we should, for our purposes this evening, should we paint the boxes and pretend it's fondant, or should we use the Dixie Belle mud and do a surface like icing? You know what I mean?
Why don't we do kind of like we'll stagger them.
Okay.
We'll do mud on one for a texture.
Okay.
And then we can see what the paint does on the paper mache.
Okay.
And then.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. The mud's going to take a little longer to dry.
Yeah, let's do that first.
Let's do that first. We'll share the mud, and we'll just use these little sticks.
Okay.
And so
now I've never used
middle.
this.
Oh wait, this is the top one. Should we do the middle one?
Yes.
Okay. Well then, really,
it's
messy,
just. So I'm gonna get my.
This stuff, it's very much has like an icing consistency. So this is Dixie Belle mud, and this is in reality good for filling little cracks, or you can do stencils with them. So that's what we use it for.
That would be
so neat. I'm going to start on the sides.
Okay.
And just kind of spread it around just like you would. Now, again, boy, if your friends are joining, and I'm going to say it to my people, I always ask, please subscribe, because we're doing this real crazy thing with the computer, because that's the only way I can do it. Until I have 1,000 subscribers, then I can use fancy cameras. So
subscribe.
So, but every week it's growing. So I think we're up to 286. So we're almost to 300.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Keep doing eyelashes, and they're going to be flying.
Well, that was a fail. But that's okay. I almost got the house on fire one night.
Oh, jeez.
With I have used epoxy before, which is one thing you can put in molds. And here I guess I just put an improper mix together, and it got hot. And I'm like running outside.
The bomb burn the house down.
Stuff. Oh my gosh.
Now look at me already smoothing.
You're smoothing. Do your thing. So we were talking one day about naked cakes and the trend in that. Mm-hmm. So this is sort of the texture you would have with that. Yes. It's just kind of like a bark kind of thing. So look how fancy I am tonight with the tablecloth, because I have company. Usually I do my
stops for me.
Did. Usually I do lives from home. And
well, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, well, sure. But I thought it would be special to do it here, because I have all my stuff here, and just a little easier for us.
And just Tom didn't want her doing the eyelashes at home.
Oh, you only knew about the eyelashes at the last minute. I said, what?
Am I supposed to try to cover this whole thing?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right.
We have more mud if we need it. I usually stay on for about an hour.
I'm kind of speckling here because it's fun.
Well, you'll have to show everybody every now and then your technique. So I'm going to move it over so she can show you, and then just kind of get it a little closer. Oh, I see what you're doing.
Now, the rule with icing is clean knife makes a clean product.
Okay.
So I tend, when I have a big old heaping bowl of buttercream, I tend to have a towel I use those flour sack towels because they're real light and real easy to fold. And I tend to do one of these jobs every time I start to smooth, just because, like I said.
So you probably need paper towels.
No, you're fine.
I have one I can share with you.
That's okay. The fondant is going to mimic, like I said. So that's.
So can you kind of like get that in there and kind of show them that texture?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And we just tap, 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 tap. And the kind of almost a popcorn sealing effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now,
and you know, we can do that with paint with using a texture additive called salt wash.
Oh.
Actually, sea spray. I'm sorry. But it's kind of cool.
When you do this with icing, once what we in the cake industry call it crusts over.
Okay.
If you've ever had a cupcake and it's kind of the icing gets a little
sits out a little bit,
right?
And it gets
then you can take a luster dust or food colorings and you mix them with a clear alcohol, and they kind of become a paint.
Okay.
And then you can take your brush and just gently brush over, and then the tips will color.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
Yep.
Oh, that part looks like fun. Now he's hungry for cake. Thanks. Sorry. Every now and then we'll be done eating. He'll be like, "Okay, chocolate cake. Where's the chocolate cake?"
I'll make you a cake.
And trust me, it'll be good. But you just have to make it gluten-free for us, though.
I'll
not for him. He can eat whatever. But then, you know what? You probably should make it with gluten in it. That way, I won't eat it because I'm also on my
Save
Watchers.
you.
Yes.
Oh, I had to a mess on your tablecloth.
It's okay.
Here.
I'm making a mess on the tablecloth too. I had to suffer through the macaroons while everybody else was enjoying them.
I didn't get to taste them either, and I made them.
This really does look like icing, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
So anyway, I started to say we were talking about the naked cake.
Yes.
And the trend in that. And it really just, you know,
I've never made one.
That one kind of like, I don't know.
It escaped
I think anybody
me.
could make it. It's just like spread the icing on, throw a few flowers.
Yeah, you just have to kind of. It's getting that. We when you first put your icing on your cakes, and it's easiest if you freeze them ahead of time. If you level them off and freeze them, individually wrap them tightly, airtight in saran wrap. Put them level in the freezer.
Okay.
And then overnight at least. That way they're nice and solid. And then it also keeps your filling and your icing. When you stack them, keeps it nice and cold. And your buttercream doesn't melt. If your buttercream, if it's too warm out, your buttercream's going to start to slide. Your fondant then slides. Okay. So it's very, very important to have the cakes cold or frozen. Once, excuse me, once we call it dirty icing. Is what you put the buttercream on before you put your fondant on. Okay. You normally want to put a very thin layer. That's where the naked cake came from. Okay. Is you just kind of skim coat it. Oh, all right. And then you put another layer of buttercream on. So you can sort of see the cake through the. Right. That's the first dirty ice. All right. Which some people call it a crumb coat. It's so that as you're moving the fondant on, the crumbs don't on the outside. In my world, that's a scratch coat that we put on our furniture. Yep. So nothing flakes and mixes into your top coat. Up a second. Okay. And my sister taught me a really cool trick a long time ago with cakes. She's quicker than me. Yeah. With the mud. And I don't really have a turntable. I don't want to pick it up now either. But anyway, if your cake comes out, now I'm telling you, the baker. That's okay. I'll correct you if you're wrong. This is a home trick, but if the cake comes out of the oven and it's like lopsided, you wet a paper towel or a towel immediately and put it on top of the cake and press down on it. Okay. It works. I mean, it just levels it out. I've never heard that. But oh my gosh, it's awesome. You have to do it like right away. If you get your cake out and you see that it's lopsided, normally right away. A home baked cake will have a hump in the middle. Yeah, and what that is the air in the batter. Oh, okay. So I thought it was from uneven oven temperature. No, not necessarily. Well, some places, you switch your cookies. Yeah, your cookie trays, you have to top and bottom. It depends on your oven, obviously, but almost every time I haven't done what I do, which I didn't know the paper towel trick, I'm going to try that. It gets hot though, so just be careful. Right? Don't be. It's going to be hot. Don't be giving it CPR. Yeah. But what I do is, and this has always worked for me, because they do sell cake levelers, which are like it's that silver material. that can be baked.
Yeah.
But it's like material. No, it looks almost like duct tape. They look like strips of duct tape, but it's I don't know what exact material it is, but you put it on top of the batter.
Okay.
So it weighs it down.
Okay.
I don't like to do that. I've never bought them. I've never used them. What I was taught and figured out, if you take your pan, pour your batter in, shimmy, kind of shake it.
I can do
and
that.
You, the same thing with the macarons. What you do is you drop them down is the technical term.
Okay.
And you kind of go like this.
Okay.
And I didn't mean to shake the camera, but you tap them and it brings the air bubbles to the top of the cake. Let them sit for 5 minutes before you put them in the oven. They will bake even every time. And then it'll have a little bit of a kind of roundness on the top. And then all you normally have to do if you pour your batter right, say you have a 2-3 inch pan, is take that very curve off. And they're perfectly even. So, but yeah, when I first started, they all went, woo, it was like a mountain. Of course, my kids love that. And it's sweeter because it has the baked part that doesn't touch the side of the pans. So that's the only part of the cake I ever eat. Is the tops I cut off. But my kids loved when I made big humps.
Here's my middle.
I'm getting there.
So I'm going to set this aside. And then I'm going to start painting my boxes so that they look like fondant. Well, we're fake fondant.
Fake fondant.
So I put a couple. Do you want to be pink or blue? Or you could be both.
Well, you can give me options, and then
I could also give you
pink.
white. Would you
pink.
like white? Because I have pink champagne, and that is a very light color, and I also have soft pink.
Ooh.
You could do a blend. Would you also like white?
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me a second. I happen to have some white right here.
The magic of television.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've wished, on TV when they put a cake in the oven, then 10 minutes later they take it out and it's done.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they do those cake shows, that the 8 hours, and they build these towering, and you have to bake and everything in that. They have to have confection ovens.
I don't really watch that stuff. Boy, talk about shake the table. I'm going to do it on the floor.
Okay.
So when your paint doesn't open, just turn it upside down and you hit it on the floor. It usually works.
It's like a pickle jar.
Okay, it worked. Okay.
I'm better with icing than I am with mud. I don't want that.
All right. So, this is actually called fluff. How appropriate.
Aww. And I have to say thank you for letting me come play and check out these Dixie Belle products, because I haven't got to, I've come in here for how long now and haven't got to actually use anything.
This is my fun world.
Join our world.
Yeah. Well, wait till we get to the molds too.
Crazy.
I had some fun today too. I was doing countertops and I used a really bright blue called Cobalt, and then I used Lumalite's clear cast resin, coating resin, and they're so shiny.
You're going to have to help me with my kitchen, because we are renovating our kitchen and he wants the cabinets gray.
Yeah.
I like that. I forget what color. It's a blue with a black glaze over it, and then you wipe it off.
That antebellum blue.
Yes.
Well, you know what? A trend now is to do uppers in one color and lowers in another color.
All right, well, then we'll do his gray.
There you go. You can do them both. I'd put yours on the bottom though, because it's going to be darker.
Okay, I'm not going to do my very top here because we're going to cover it.
True.
But here's my speckles.
Okay.
Dry, little box dry.
And I think I have a heat gun here. I might, if we need it.
Industrial strength hair dryer.
Exactly.
I have a heat gun from, it's just almost looks like a Dremel,
Yeah.
but it was for stamping and embossing.
Okay.
Which I want to try embossing liquid and powders on a canvas. I haven't done yet, but I think some of the paintings would be really neat with like the black embossed on them.
Yeah. There's a lot of things too.
There's so much. I have so many stamps. We might have to do a stamping.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to be crazy and I'm just going to set this right on here right now. Okay, so I'll show you what I did. Talking about being crazy and then I'm not showing you. So let me get this out of the way so you can see. But I stacked my second layer on top of my bottom.
It's almost a cake.
Yeah. So would it be weird to do the top in a different color?
No. The cool thing about crafting, painting, cakes, anything. You can do anything you want. And it's your creation. It's how you want it.
What I might
do. The neat thing about the fake cakes that we're making is you can reuse them.
Yeah.
They're not going to spoil. They're not going to go bad.
Yeah, and these are actually going to be gift boxes.
Right.
So, well, I'll just leave that down. I'm going to move this one out of the way. And you know what I might do is I might use that paint blue, which is a really light blue. And then maybe in the middle, I'll kind of blend them together. Because I blend furniture a lot.
I would love to see that because
We'll do it.
The only time I've done a few sunsets, but like you said, my art is more kind of that pop art style.
Yeah.
And I wanted to I look at a lot of like celestial pictures. I love moons and suns and stars, and a lot of my jewelry is crystals. So it was, to do that blending, sunsets and sunrises. I would love to see your technique.
Well, I would be happy to show you how to blend paint.
Because I do it, but I may be doing it wrong. Or I should say differently. I guess there's no wrong in art. Huh?
No, there is no wrong. Never wrong. Okay. I should not dip this in here, but I'm going to do it. She did it. We did it.
I think we're going to
I should probably do the side first, and then the top. Okay, so what are you doing? You're going to paint yours?
I'm going to do, this is the soft pink and on my big bottom tier.
Okay. You don't have a big bottom.
Well, I do.
Speaking of big bottoms, and also trends, and we were talking about the eyelashes earlier. So and we were also talking about age, and you know, when I was younger, it was not trendy to have a big bottom.
No, but now
they put, like padding in the pants and.
Yeah, they make a thing called booty pop underwear.
Yeah.
And they're almost like Spanx, but they have a padded bottom.
Sorry, but I still don't.
Thanks, J-Lo.
Yeah. Was it her or was it
I don't know. I think
Kardashians?
that's when I think J-Lo started it, because I think the Kardashians were after, if I recall. But yeah, we were Gloria Vanderbilt's, and I mean.
Yeah,
I remember having, I shouldn't say me because I was.
Well, so.
But I remember my mom having a flatter tuchus, if you will.
Also funny.
Nobody wanted a big butt.
You used to live beside me.
I did. I met you when I was 16.
Oh.
And we were next door neighbors.
Did you come over with your mom that night when I was decorating the dining room? Painting the dining room?
Don't remember. I remember her getting the big steamer trunk from you.
Oh, okay.
And
that was when
that was my entertainment center. for years.
Oh yeah.
We took my old, we've been grafting all our lives, Levon.
Yes. Oh
we
my
took
gosh.
my old end tables, and my brother cut the legs off halfway, and we put them on top of the big. It was a huge, gorgeous steamer trunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
it was cool.
They were kind of like an old Tudor style end table, and we put both of them on top, and my TV or my DirecTV box sat right in perfect, and my DVD player. And the TV sat on top.
I love to stack furniture.
Yes.
I love to do it.
I always wanted to do those big suitcases or the graduated suitcases up to the ceiling.
Yeah.
But yeah, that my mom had bought it off of you. And so I kept it safe, but it was always, if you ever don't need that, I bought that off the Vaughn. I want it back. And then now it's in her living room in her apartment.
I used to love going over to see the cool things your mom would
do.
She
paints everything.
She did some really cool stuff in that house.
She took my great-grandma, her grandmother's old recipe books.
Yeah.
And wallpaper.
The
kitchen.
Yep. I remember that.
And then we took the car wash sponges, and we did cinder blocks on the big bricks on the walls.
And you know what else? The ladder bookshelf in the living room. I love that. Love that. So she was way ahead of her little Pinterest time.
Yes.
Okay, so I put my blue box on top of these aren't really centered very well, but they're staying. So I'm not moving them now. Okay, so I'm going to do a little blending. Now, normally with paint and furniture, I'm going to use a mister, but I don't know.
We're here to break rules.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start painting on top of this kind of wet mud. It's still a little wet. And then just bring the color down a little bit. And then we're going to have some mold fun. Yay! Mold as in I always spell it M-O-U-L-D. So
right, because we don't want to think it's right.
Yeah. Like yucky mold.
There is my soft pink.
Beautiful. Yeah.
I'm going to be a copycat.
Okay.
Stack, but in true cake fashion, I have to center here.
Well, I'm sure you're doing that better than I did, because I didn't do a good job centering.
Yeah, over there, ladies.
Yours are ladies and mine are gents, because they're blue. Mine's are gents.
Are you as crazy as I talk to anything I'm doing, I'm making? I have to talk to cakes. I have to talk jewelry. I'll get over here when I'm putting stuff together.
I do. Or you son of a.
Yeah.
When it doesn't work.
We don't have to censor. We're live.
Yeah, we're live.
Now, what I want to do.
So I got a piece of furniture delivered today.
Ooh.
It's really cool. It's a gun cabinet, but I'm actually going to get the gun part out of it and make it like a secretary. It's really cool.
Nice. Did your bathroom, did you still have that? You had the old washstand that you made into your sink?
Yeah.
Is it still
have it?
Oh, I love that.
Yep.
It was gorgeous.
The countertops changed over the years, and so has the sink part. But the dresser's still there. It's been repainted, and yeah. So the original one was a Pure One bowl that I drilled a hole in.
I remember that. I think when you were painting the dining room.
Well, I think that I had gotten rid of that sink at that point.
I remember going upstairs, and that was the only thing that I like
remembered.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, then the build-ins in the dining room.
Oh, I love those.
I used to take a peek every time I'd be going down the stairs, because my bedroom was on the first floor. I'd go up to visit my dad, and I'd come down the stairs, and our stairwell window looked into Levon's dining room.
Yeah.
So I would peek at the build-ins.
I don't have those lace curtains anymore, so I don't think our neighbors can see in anymore.
Did they have leaded glass doors on them?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we took them off for a while because we had tenants that weren't really taking care of them. So we were afraid.
Protect
them.
And
what was so funny was we took them over to our other house, and they fit perfectly in the windows.
Oh,
like,
neat.
Perfect. So they lived there for a while, and then we Now they're attached again on the
Good.
doors. When we first moved back, we put them in the window. And as a matter of fact, if you ever look at the logo, the Vintage Decor logo, so we have the truck logo, but there was an original logo, and it's now on the door of the truck. But that logo was actually a picture of the dining room windows with the stained glass in them. Yeah. So, thinking of all kinds of different things for our new sign for the store. So one of them is to get like a truck door and put the original logo on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love to. I think they are I think they're old like vents, old heater vent, the wrought iron.
Okay. Oh
They are so neat. We were my boyfriend and I were he does deliveries for his business occasionally, and we go through all these itty bitty towns, and sometimes they have the coolest stuff just hanging in windows.
Yes.
He said he saw them somewhere and was like, "What is that?" And I said, "I think they're heating vent covers, like from old Victorian houses, and some of them are huge. It almost looks like a gate."
Yeah. All right.
I did a little simpler. I didn't blend or anything.
Okay. All right. Well, are you done with fluff?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna put the lid on my fluff. So I kind of blended a little. If you want to bring your cake over, I know they're sort of wet, but we're just touching them like doesn't matter, but pull this down a little. So we have pink and we have blue so far.
These would be so cute for baby shower.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. They are cute. Okay, so there's more. So what would you do next if you were going to be decorating this with icing? What would you do next?
I think we need some embellishments.
I think so too.
I think we need.
Okay, so how would you embellish them with icing?
I would start with edging. Now, if you're doing an actual cake, you don't want seams here unless you have like a ribbon or something. How they do the piping around the edges.
Well, we have some things that would simulate that. And you do too. I mean, you were showing me some things, and you can show them too. If you want to move that out of the way a little bit, and then show them that, and then I'll show you what it would look like in the icing world. I'm gonna get rid of our brushes so they don't get all dried up. I'm just gonna put them in this paper towel.
I'll show you something easy here.
That's the kind of thing I do. I throw my water on the paper towel to keep the brush wet. Oh, that almost looks like my stuff.
Yes. Well, and these are Wilton molds.
Wilton, okay. But, so you can buy those like at Michael's and stuff.
Yep. But I also this is actually from a clay. It's kind of like a muslin.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah,
you can do with icing, or once it kind of crusts over, or you can do with your fondant.
Kind of like up to the camera. So yeah. Wow, that's really cool.
It's kind of like a cheesecloth.
Yeah, cheesecloth. Yeah.
One I use a lot is these pearls. They get
like these pearls.
Yes. Yes. Now mine, of course, are for cakes, and they're food safe.
Right. And these are too.
Yes.
Until you yeah.
Right.
So we shared before, and you got some molds, and yours are food safe because you've never.
I've only ever used them with fondant. Right.
But mine are.
Now with your clay, do you have to have any kind of release agent, or is it?
I have used different stuff. So there's different mediums that you can use to make with the molds, and there's air dry clay, and I have used IOD air dry clay and some other stuff, and I use cornstarch in them. But this modeling material from Redesign, it pops right out. You don't have to. So
that's to compare.
Yeah.
Fondant, it can dry out, but a lot of people use cornstarch. I prefer powdered sugar.
Okay.
When you're done with your cake, in which I'm putting gloves on because I'm going to touch some fondant, and I don't want to get stuff on my molds. But and I have paint on my fingers. But I use powdered sugar because if you take a I can't speak, garment steamer,
Okay.
Any kind of powdered sugar that's on your fondant and you steam it,
Okay.
just a light over it, it disappears. And that's where the glossiness comes into fondant. Fondant isn't glossy till it gets steamed.
Okay.
So, but it also, when it gets wet, that's what makes fondant stick together. So it's like glue.
Okay.
If you steam it, it's all going to go and stay together.
Okay. I'm going to put this down because I'm doing a mold and you're going to be showing some things.
I am. We're going to make some gold pearls here real quick.
Neat. I'm using modeling material, that redesigned modeling material, and we sell it here at the store. And I'm using some different molds. I have a collection of them, which I think I've shown you some of them before, but this one's actually an Iron Orchid design, which I don't sell any longer. I sell Redesign, and they have some really cool molds. Actually, I'll have to show you in a few minutes some of the newer designs. There's a really cool lion, like a really regal lion with a crown sort of situation thing. And what else do we have? Like cogs. And there's garlands of roses that are beautiful. There's so many more. They have a lot of molds. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. A lot of times whenever you do a long string like this, it's good to take the clay and put it kind of in a spaghetti string. I don't know what I was doing there. I was looking all around. That's what I was doing, not focusing. So I'm just pressing the modeling material in. And I know you guys have seen me do this before, but I'm actually going to be doing this tomorrow on taping for a TV show all around the Allegheny, or it's just around the Alleghenies. And they do a Money Talks segment, and I do Design on a Dime once a month.
Fun.
Yeah, so I'm going to be talking about molds with picture frames.
I have some really plain frames, and I love that ornate kind of, I don't know if it's Baroque or Victorian or whatever age, just the older style. And you can find some really neat plainer frames, like always, for a discount, and then use your, the techniques you're going to show.
Yeah.
And I am all about, not to say I'm cheap.
But I'll be the first person to say I am cheap.
Economical, and the fact that I made it myself.
I'm totally cheap.
And I love the one-of-a-kind thing. I love that you can't just buy 15 of them.
Right. Okay, so then you just turn it over.
Oh, yeah, they pop right out of there.
Pop it out. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so I'm just gonna set this over here for a minute so you can see.
You just prepping over here so I can.
All right, I'm gonna move it back in the way. I guess I should use glue. Ooh, yeah. I have some wood glue here. Of course, my paint's a little wet. I'm wondering if I should just stick it in the paint.
I think you just stick it.
Stick it. It's not like icing, though.
Now there's fondant, which is edible, and then there is gum paste, which a lot of very ornate orchids and roses and flowers are made with gum paste. Gum paste has no flavor. It is not supposed to be eaten. It's more white, and it gets like porcelain. It gets rock hard. Yeah, I mean it gets hard. Yeah, it gets very hard. So if you want to break a tooth, go ahead. But
okay, so I put this around here. So I'm wondering though. I mean, this is great if it stays together, but if you would happen to use it as a gift box,
right? You just want to stick to your box there. You don't want to stick on you don't want it to stick to your lid. So I guess you would let them dry.
So you're saying pull it up a little.
Yeah. Or you could just keep the lid attached to the bottom.
That's true too. You could do that too. I just don't know how well this is going to stick because it's not icing. I mean,
or glue.
Yeah. I don't know whether the glue would stick to the wet paint. I'm just going to keep going, see what happens.
We're all about finding out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to shove this in here quick. And we're going to see how sticky. Now, this is just some gold fondant I had left over from an old cake. Fondant keeps as long as it's airtight. Fondant will keep for very, very long time as long as it's wrapped and air doesn't get into it, it doesn't dry out. And you kind of how the Vaughn did, you just kind of keep smoothing it and filling it. Now, this is without a powdered sugar coat. And we'll show you how hard it is to get it out of here.
It looks like it's going to stick.
Because, like I said, it copies whatever you put it on. Now, to get it out, and we're going to throw this fondant away when we're done because we're not really in a food safe environment here. We don't want anybody, but see how it's not coming out of there real nice and neat.
No, not at all.
So we would have pulled that out, powdered it, and tried it again. But if we take handy dandy little brush and some powdered sugar, and we just kind of do a light dusting. Now you don't want to fill your mold with powdered sugar because then that's going to take away space from your fondant. And then we make a little snake and we shove it in. Now the thing with fondant, and I'm sure any kind of medium, when you're adding to it, it's going to eventually, the more you add to it, it's changing the consistency. More and more powdered sugar you add to fondant, even if it's just dusting, it's going to dry out over time. All you have to do is add a little bit of vegetable shortening, mix it back in, and it gets nice and silky again.
Nice.
Now, I use satin ice, which is the same kind of fondant if anybody's ever watched Cake Boss Buddy in New Jersey, Carlo's Bakery.
I just see him every now and then on Rachel Ray.
Yeah, that's where I learned about that ice or that fondant. It's just the texture and flavor I prefer. But there's all different types and brands out there. Some of them are a little more gritty, I guess, a little more plasticky. This is creamier, and the colors mix in really nice. So we smooth. Now you can kind of keep rubbing to get all your edges off here so you have a nice clean. But you can also do that with an X-Acto knife when you're done. And then,
now, will that shrink at all?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. And then we pop. And as long as your big old fingernails don't. But with the powdered sugar, it just pops right out of there. And then when you steam that powdered sugar is
and that really looks like pearls. I mean, the shape of it, it's really.
And these are so cute around. Now I'm going to do this just for the sake of, if this were a cake, this would go around your edge like that. And then you just keep connecting them and you just take some water on a brush, put it on your cake, and they will stick.
Awesome. Just tosses it aside. Okay, I'm going to make one more segment. I think that'll do it. I might have to make one more and a little bit more.
Oh, yes. So the gum paste. Gum paste gets very hard.
Okay.
And it can be a little stubborn to work with because, like I said, it almost gets like porcelain. I mix half gum paste and half fondant. That way it has a little more play time. It doesn't get as brittle. And it'll still be harder than a fondant. It sets up stiffer and harder because fondant, much like buttercream, it's going to get a crust over it. Okay. But you can still cut through it.
Oh, okay.
Gum paste, you can't cut once it's dry. It's like porcelain. It's really hard.
Okay. So, I guess you want some molds.
Sure.
Huh? Okay. Some clay molds. Looky there.
Whoa. Christmas.
It's the mother load of molds.
Never leaving.
These are all so pretty.
Oh my gosh, guys, she has mermaids in every store.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just so love molds. So in my world, I use them on furniture and um, and all kinds of things. You know, the picture frames and everything. But there's so many different materials you can use. You can use hot glue in these. You
I
can
never
use,
thought of that.
yeah, because what's cool is it's flexible and it dries really fast and it pops right out. So that's one way. I actually do that sometimes for jewelry, like if I'm doing a metal cuff bracelet, then I'll just do the mold in jewelry.
That's what I was gonna say. Some of these would be so pretty.
Yes.
Jewelry.
Oh yeah. I've sold a lot of jewelry that I've done with molds. Speaking of jewelry, also Nickie did this bracelet.
I believe that one's awful marine.
So pretty. I wear it like all the time.
I had mine on earlier and took them off just because I figured I'd get paint on them. Now this, texture-wise, is a little denser.
Yeah.
Fondant. So
yeah, and
it's more akin to the gum paste.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, but it does harden.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it will harden. You might find too the stuff that's down at the bottom might be a little softer. It's just kind of kind of getting.
I've wanted to try to experiment with Fimo clay.
Yeah.
And I've never, I mean, I've used it before, but the beads that they kind of layer. And I'm sure my boyfriend would love that and having clay all over the house. Doing my paintbrushes and
all that stuff.
Yeah. I never see my kids happier than when I'm making cakes because my 9-year-old figures he's my fondant tester. And I'll say, oh, I made too much of this color. And I'll say, I'll eat it. I'm like, all right. Extra melatonin that night. Oh, no. I knocked my end of my crown off.
Oh, that sounds like a problem.
Issues. We're having issues.
Abort. I lost my crown. Okay, so like I said, these will shrink a little bit. Okay. And I am really concerned about how these are going to stay. But we'll find out. For now, we're leaving it on there. And
I'm probably going to need some glue of some type because
wood glue is what I use. Because yours is all dry.
Almost.
But I still think that mine's not really going to. But I hate to take it off now, so. Okay, so here's what I have on mine. I have this border. And I think I'm going to do another border down here, but I'm going to do something different this time. We have a crown. Oh. Okay, let me see.
Yes.
I think there's one that has roses. Okay, I do little teeny weeny roses or like swags of roses. So I think I'm going to work with that one a little bit. You can actually make molds too, you know.
I've seen, and I've seen on
safe.
different shows. Yeah, I just haven't ever. There's another medium in cakes called isomalt, which it comes in little pellets. You melt it down, and instead of melting sugar, it's almost how they make any movie or anything like that, any TV show you've seen when they break a bottle over someone's head.
Yeah,
it's made of isomalt.
Oh, okay.
It's sugar. It's not glass.
Oh, all right.
But when you crystallize sugar, it has to be a certain temperature, and then it turns to caramel.
Yeah.
So it can get dark very quickly. Isomalt comes colored. Okay. So any kind of like lakes or, you know, they come in blue and you can do greens and you can color it yourself. It comes clear. But they made on a couple different cakes I've watched diamonds for wedding cakes.
Oh, wow.
They made like a big engagement ring. and they take a big fake diamond, which I have from Kirkland's way back when Kirkland's was open. I got my mom a paperweight, which is a huge diamond engagement ring.
Oh, wow.
And it's in a box this big. And the diamond's about that big around. And they took one of those and put it in a silicone mold and made a mold out of it and then poured the isomalt in that to make their diamond.
Okay.
So I've always wanted to do that. And I just, part of me, I love that you don't care about getting messy because there's a part of me that in my own house, I'm afraid to make a mess because I have to clean it up.
Oh, I love making messes.
So do I. And then I have to clean it up and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, eventually you do. But it's kind of fun here that you can really just
so that's a hint to my boyfriend. I need a whole craft room. If we had an attic. Oh my gosh.
So if you just popped on, we're having all kinds of fun here. We're with Nickie, and we're just making fake cakes.
Hatbox cakes.
Yeah, hatbox cakes, yeah. And just feel free to say hi, yes, and subscribe.
Subscribe and then say hi. Now, these, if you would paint this, you would wait till it's dry?
Nope, I do it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I paint it right away.
Okay.
And it will shrink a little. So I always tell everybody, you either want to paint first and then apply it, or just know that it's going to shrink and you can go around the edges a little bit.
So like putting it on this edge, is it going to move up a little bit?
No, not move up, but what it'll do is just separate. Like, so where that seam is between the two of them, there'll be a space.
Okay. Now, could you go back with that mud we used?
Yes, or you can go back with the clay
and
and do some more. Just put a little, bridge in between them.
With fondant, you would take a straight edge, like an X-Acto knife.
Okay.
And wet it a little bit.
Okay.
And just kind of smooth them together.
Yeah.
So that your seam goes away.
Isn't that pretty? I think I'm definitely going to need glue for this.
Pretty, yes.
Might also need some tape, but I might grab that other glue over there. It's called Type 1 Thick and Quick.
Grab it for you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Because it might be a little thicker consistency and better on, for a place that might slide. Okay, so I'm going to turn this around a minute and pull this over.
You can tell I'm a newbie here because you were much quicker.
I always do everything fast.
But you've also worked with some before.
Yeah. But.
So I have a question.
Yes.
What is, because I have that one cake that I never took pictures of. I never will admit that I ever made it. It was so bad. In fact, and it was the first year I had ever started to try to make cakes. And it was a family member that had asked me to make some cakes for them. It was supposed to be teacups on saucers, and they were little mini cakes.
Yeah.
And being cocky, because my first few cakes I had made my one cousin's wedding cake. And actually, I made two cousins' wedding cakes and the sushi cake and everything was going swimmingly. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I got this.
Yeah.
And I tried to make these teacups, and they were miserable. They were horrible. And I was so embarrassed, I didn't want to give them to her. So I went and bought her a dozen donuts. And I gave her the one that barely turned out. But I wouldn't let her pay me. And I didn't take pictures of the process. I had done the zombie cake for you.
Yeah.
I have a bazillion pictures.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
The head being made and everything. Just one for my reference, and two, because it's neat to see the progression.
Right.
And, but yeah, it was horrid. And I never, sometimes the teacup cakes haunt me in my sleep.
Really?
So have you ever had a project that turned out
Oh my gosh,
terrible?
all the time. Hot messes all the time. Yep. It happens to me all the time, but you just keep going. Just showing that swag there. And I'm going to do another one. But you know, sometimes what you think is
the
horrible
mistake ends up being great.
Yeah.
But there, and normally I can swing it. I can do all right, that wasn't what I wanted, but I can turn it into this. Now with cakes a lot, especially people ordering wedding cakes, they have a specific idea of what they want. There are very few people. You were one of the first people who ever said to me, like,
do you
the zombie? With the zombie cake, do what you want. And it was kind of like, I don't know what direction to go in here. Should it be gory? Should it be scary? Should it be hokey? Should it be funny? But people have a very specific idea. Now, I will have somebody bring me a picture and say, can you make this cake? Yeah. Absolutely, I can make a cake, but I don't want to make a cake somebody already made.
Right.
So
I want to put your twist
what do you want? What is it that you like about this cake?
Yeah.
And that way we can make it your cake, because you don't want somebody's cake that they've already done. But yeah, it'll be, oh, that wasn't supposed to go that way. I had a client a couple years ago that, God bless the little boy. It was his 3rd or 4th birthday, and he wanted a dinosaur cake. And a lot of molded things you make out of Rice Krispie treats.
Okay.
And then you cover them in fondant and icing and fondant. And they get denser and they're lighter. Like the Sesame Street cake I did. Okay. They were actually foil. And then covered in fondant. So that 1, you can keep them for a while, and 2, they're lighter. They aren't weighing on the cake. And this little boy just wanted a dinosaur cake, and I made it, and I had it sitting overnight, and I woke up and the whole thing collapsed on itself. It was so hot. It was August.
Geez.
August 2 years ago. I woke up and the whole thing was melting. Like I said, the buttercream. And I was like, I have to deliver this cake at 3:00 this afternoon.
So what did you do?
I had to make a whole new cake. And so we ended up just doing sprinkles on, it looked like a confetti cake all over his cake, because the fondant just kept sliding off. And so he had a sprinkle cake with a big dinosaur head on it. And then here, when they were doing it at a park. And when they got to the park, she sent me pictures, and the whole icing was sliding off the cake. It was terrible. Poor little guy. He loved it, but he was 3. But being an artist, it's like, oh, please just work out. And in the beginning, I was horrible with time, as far as it was. My genius occurs when I have no time to mess up. Right. Like, you know, it's okay. I'm on a deadline and I got to get this done. And so it has to be right. I make myself
deadlines all the time.
If I start early, I will redo it. I will do it over and over and over, because it's not right. And I'm a perfectionist that way. And I'm my own worst critic.
I won't do that. I just procrastinate.
Well, and that's what if I have to have it done in 4 hours, I will wait. Your cookies, I started at 5 a.m. and I was bringing them to you at what? 3.
But they were fresh.
Yeah, but that's what I figure out. That's what I tell myself. But yeah, if at the last minute my genius strikes, if I make it early, I'll redo it. I think a lot of artists are that way, though.
Yeah, I just did a project the other day. And she just picked it up today, as a matter of fact, and she loves it. And it just like wasn't coming together for me until the very end.
Mm-hmm.
So and she just absolutely loves it. So
that is what matters.
Yeah.
Even when I haven't been happy with it, I just, okay.
I told her I literally lost a night's sleep over it, but the inspiration to fix it came to me in my sleep. So I literally dreamt it up.
And it's scary and it's exciting to do things you've never done.
Yeah.
But that's like the macarons. I had never made them. And I'm like, I want to try, but I was terrified.
Yeah.
And every time I'd say something about it, it was, oh, these are so hard to make. Oh yeah, they're really hard to make. I'm like, I'm having half a panic attack. And not even that they were any for anybody's wedding or it, but it was
They were for a photo shoot.
Right. But it's still, you were counting on me. And I'm like, okay. And they turned out, they looked great.
Oh yeah, they were beautiful.
Neither of us got to taste them.
Nope.
Because I had one more than I needed and I didn't get to eat it.
But everybody that did loved them.
Good. We'll have to make more. It's a very meticulous and time-consuming process.
They're just so
to make them.
pretty.
They are beautiful. I want to do those stamps.
Yeah. So that's another thing. And I was even thinking of bringing a transfer, like a French thing, just to simulate like a stamp, but I didn't. So here's what I have going on here.
Very nice.
All right, and here let's take a look and see what old Nickie has laid out here. She's got all kinds.
My little cropper's gonna fall off of there.
Lots of laurel leaves.
Yes, and we're gonna figure out what's kind of.
All right. I'm gonna put this up. Let you look
You
at
have
us
the
for a
mold
while.
of the little door hickey things
Little
somewhere.
door hickey things.
Door little.
Like locks.
Yeah.
Little door hickey things.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need a little hangy downy thing, and then we speak the same language.
Yeah, it's technical terms.
Yes.
You have to know the jargon. I don't know if I like them now with all that.
We have been on over an hour, so we should probably start wrapping up
here.
our cakes.
But it's so much fun. We don't want it
It is
to
so
end.
much fun.
We're gonna perfect those eyelashes.
I know.
for
I
the
know.
next show.
I'm just like not even used to just seeing the eyeliner. Sculpt well, very cool. Stamps and molds to do a lot of creative things while baking. I have to go. Bye, honey. Bye, honey.
Bye, honey. All right. I'm just placing these for now to see if this is where we are.
I hope he's spacing. I hope it turns out like right. So I don't know what I'll do if it doesn't. So you made all yours first, and I make them as I go along.
The tricky part with working with fondant, once you have that base, that smooth base like we talked about, if you blemish that, like if you have a white base and you put something red or black decorative on it, it's going to mark your white fondant.
Yeah.
And like I said, water's your glue. So you're going to have to either recover the whole tier or kind of scrape it off. I mean, I've done some creative things to try to get colors off of fondant, which is why I make them all. And a lot of times the fondant stuff has to dry. Like I'll make them a couple days in advance so that they dry and then they get put on the cake.
Okay. I love that.
Do you like that?
Yeah. Let's show them.
My crown fell off. I didn't glue yet. So.
Okay.
Should we glue it?
I would.
All right.
Definitely glue it.
Let's glue it.
So when I do lives, I don't get a whole lot of people watching at once. It fluctuates, but the next day, lots of people watch.
You had the wacky cake lady on now. It's all bets off.
I'm going to work on those lashes, believe me.
We need to get you some of that plumping lip,
Nah,
volumizing lip stuff. We're going to do a whole glam episode.
I actually do have. I got some lips.
We're going to do a whole glam episode. We'll make you look like a Barbie. And
I don't want to plump my lips. I just wanted a little more eyelashes.
I have always been, and everything that I like, they discontinue.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, Nickie likes it. Let's take that off the market now. Yep. I love Fiber Lash Mascara.
Okay.
It has almost like little hairs in it.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, the one I use is, it's two-sided. There's like a primer that's black, and then the other side has the Fiber Lash.
Okay.
But that's the only thing I can use that kind of makes my eyelashes fuller. Because I don't wear contacts or anything. I can't stand stuff in my eyes.
Yeah.
Like I touch my eyes too much. Now, in a perfect world, would make them gold.
Well, you know what? Here, it's a perfect world.
Perfect.
This is called Wedding Bell, so it is perfect. And here's some detail brushes.
Yay!
So you pick your poison here. I would probably go with that one. That's just me. Almost done with my swag here.
Do we? I don't know if we want to put this anywhere.
Because I'm going to use some metallic on my cake too.
Do we like this here?
Well,
Well,
I mean, just one of them?
I need to move that. Or we want something else.
Whoa. Garland was sliding.
Don't slide. Stay put. Oh, there it is. I was just saying, I knew I
quick
had
glue
pieces.
is kind of disappointing because it's running. You have to touch up the paint a little bit on that. Boy, I don't know if this swag's going to make it, but.
Come on now. We could, if we would have done it before, we could have put slits in the top of the boxes, and this would be a really neat card box.
Oh, you mean like for a wedding?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
if you didn't want to do the gift box thing.
Oh, that's true, because
if you cut the top,
oh, you mean cut each one so that it would go down to the bottom? Because otherwise, it's only going to fill up the top one.
Right. Or like one of those little, do you ever see, everybody does those kind of wish things now, like what we wish for you.
Yeah.
Or, secrets to a happy marriage, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Like you all have it figured out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go there. I'm finish line. Oh, goodness.
I just love peeling glue off my fingers.
I used to do that with rubber cement. And I think it was Mary Kay made a, it was like a conditioning hand peel. It's like lotion, like gel, and then it dries and you peel it off and it takes all the stuff out of your skin. And she just shoves it right in there.
Yes, I do.
I am like this delicate little flower over here. She's made 14 of them in the time that I made 4.
I was gonna do something a little more ambitious and put some rose.
Next time we're gonna do fondant and cakes, and she's gonna be over there like, "What are you doing?" Like, "Come on, Devon, come on, pick it up, hurry up." So what funness besides your athletic magnetic eyelashes. I was combining eyelashes and magnetic there. I apologize. What else have you bought from Wish lately? What fun?
Mainly molds.
Molds.
Yeah, I'm always buying molds.
It's infinite the things you can look up on there, because I used to live by Amazon, and then I found Wish, and unfortunately, with all the craziness in the world happening, when I ordered stuff, everything was delayed.
Yeah.
So it took forever.
Well, it takes forever anyway with Wish, but COVID made it worse.
Right. And we are working on our backyard a good bit, and we really got into solar lights.
Yeah.
Just like the fairy lights almost, but they're solar powered. So we don't have to have cords all over the yard. And they have some really neat ones on Wish. And
yeah, I've ordered some things like that for the bridal inventory lights.
Stay together.
I'm almost done with my swags.
I need something for this bottom tier, so I think we're gonna just do this fancy schmancy little.
All right, guys, a little bit more. I don't know how should I do? What should I do?
Do like a medallion or something.
Oh, like it's on purpose. That's the centerpiece. Right. Okay, that makes sense. There's a well. Let me do something else. I can do a big rose. So, see my dilemma?
We got problems, people. We got problems.
Okay, so we've got this nice little swag situation going around, and then there's not enough for another swag. So what I think I'm going to do is use some use this giant
let me move
rose.
this gold out of here.
And who cares if they're not proportional? Right?
Now, that's one of the things I love about your shop is everything is so unique. It's not just that cookie cutter, and as much as the things that we make come from things that are mass produced, it's that personalized and unique touch that things like this.
Yeah, and a lot of local people too. Mm-hmm. That's what's cool too. We're getting more and more vendors every day. So I'm going to use that. And I don't know whether it'll cover my whole gap or not. And I'm going to kind of go back and touch up the areas that with a little bit of paint.
Calm it down, lady. Talking to myself.
I was going to say, you're talking
to me. Glue. I was flipping the glue everywhere. Throwing stuff. Throwing stuff. Stay. Yeah, one of my Wish disappointments was my best girlfriend, Jen, and I, we had ordered 6 pairs of shoes.
Oh, jeez.
There were $3.85 a pair.
Yeah.
And they were almost kind of like, we used to call them Bobos, like Keds or, kind of looking, but a little cross between Keds and Converse. And they were really cute. And we ordered each 3 pair in different colors. And that was in March. And then come the first week of August, they were still processing.
Oh, geez.
And then I've come to find out that they are sold out. So then I had to cancel each one individually.
Jeez.
I couldn't just cancel the whole order.
I've never had any problems. And, I have ordered shoes before. I don't know. It's a big rose. I think I'm just going to do a couple leaves and that will be appropriate. I'll do 2 or 3, or do 1 and leave. Dilemma. I'm going to do leaves.
They're always a good space filler.
Yeah. Although I don't think these look like rose leaves to me.
I'm going to put this over here
Alrighty.
so I don't steal my brush.
And Nickie starts painting.
I do. My happy place. My girlfriend Melissa has a Shar-Pei puppy.
Yeah, you
Sweetest
showed me
little
that
girl
picture.
named Honey.
Aww.
And I told her a while back I was going to do a painting for her, and I never did. And as we know, some of my paintings can be a little morose. And I kept teasing her that I was going to do as we talked about, the hindquarters.
Yeah.
I said I was going to do a butt painting. And then I said, Saturday, I was sitting at home, and I thought, I want to paint something fun. And I was like, all her wrinkles, I have to paint Honey. So I drew up this little Shar-Pei, and her eyes are so droopy. It cracks me up every time I look at it.
I know.
That's what she actually looks like.
Well, I know. I said to Tom, because ours is a mix, and I said, I'm kind of glad that Grizz is a Shar-Pei mix. I said, because he's got just enough wrinkles. I said, this dog looks almost wrinkles. Depressed.
Yeah. Oh, sometimes her face, you can't see her eyes, and her lids were already tacked.
Yeah.
So, and she's blind. It's hysterical.
Yeah. Grizz had to have surgery. He had inverted eyelashes.
Aww.
I wonder if he used magnetic.
He should have. They just should have put some of those little, and then when he's really sleepy, he could just unhook them.
Yeah.
But yes, I started a painting of Honey, and
it's really cool.
So I started putting some color on it yesterday, and because of course I do the black, and everybody's like, "Oh, I really like it like that." It's not done yet.
Yeah,
it's just it's just the black outline, and so I put some of her. She's Honey because that's the color she is. She's golden, and I had texted Melissa and told her I was gonna wait till I was done, and I got too excited. I'm horrible with surprises, and I had to tell her. So I sent her a picture, and she said, "Oh my gosh, I love it!" And she said we just actually took down a picture in the dining room or in the living room, so I needed something to put there. And I said, "Well, now," and that's her baby. So
that's cool.
We have to finish the Honey painting. And my cousin in North Carolina was asking about the Tiffany umbrellas painting that I have here at the shop. She doesn't need it quite that big. She wanted it for her office. So, and she works at a bank. So I figured I could make her a smaller one. But she wrote a children's book and asked if maybe I would try to illustrate some pages for her.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we're going to see what we come up with that. But if anybody would have any ideas of some kind of painting they might like for their space, hit Lavon or I up, and we'll see what we can come up with for you. And then I'm going to, after you guys buy all my paintings and I make lots of money, I'm going to have Lavon decorate my kitchen.
Okay. Well, that's good.
It's a win-win.
Okay. So that's what I got, and I'm gonna grab the blue Moonshine Metallics. This is Caribbean, and I'm gonna do, since I got glue all over the place, I'm gonna do the Swag and Below.
I like it a lot.
Thank you, thank you. This is a lot darker, but
Oh, I love that color though.
it is pretty.
I'm very much a teal, like that kind of dark Joel Tony teal.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of
That
my
color,
favorite.
antebellum blue, this
Yes.
reminds me of its
Yep.
metallic counterpart.
That and then magenta, that real deep pink. Is
And the
my other
combination
favorite.
of them?
Mhm.
Yeah. All right, so here's what I started. And I'm just going to do the swag first, but I think I want to do below it. I might return to the Hank Blue and put some below it. I don't know.
No.
But I'm trying to paint kind of fast because we're on an hour and a half now.
Do you happen to have a gray?
Gray paint?
Yes.
Probably maybe in on.
Or-
if you want to look on the shelf in there.
Okay.
Right in there. So I'm used to just getting off my Tuesday talk and going in and settling down for the evening. And now I have to drive home and I'll be all wound up. And I have a big day tomorrow. Another big day. Finishing up kitchen.
Oh, that farmhouse kitchen?
Yeah.
How's that going?
Good.
Good.
Yeah, the countertop. I posted a picture of the countertop today.
I
that
saw
I was
that.
working on. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And there's a little fixing that needs to be done now because unfortunately it got a fly in it.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So, so by
You wanted to be immortalized.
yeah. So we were messaging back frantically what to do. So she did a stopgap measure, and I will do a little follow up repair tomorrow. Because like some of it had to be done while that stuff was still pliable.
Right.
It might be too far gone tomorrow to do the removal part, but the fixing part can happen tomorrow.
We were putting, we had started with flagstone in our backyard for a walkway, and it was just in the yard. There was pieces of flagstone all over the place. And
but it wasn't organized into a walk.
No, it was just kind of sitting around. And here, when we ran out of flagstone, it's not very cheap, and you kind of have to buy it like by the skid, and who needs that much flagstone? So my boyfriend had went and got concrete, quickset concrete. And as much of an artist as I am with paint and icing, he is with this concrete. He freeforms the walk.
Wow.
And it's really neat. But I was watching my mother's dog while she was away on a trip for work. And of course, he has to follow me everywhere I go. And he walked over one of the stones. And I felt terrible. And I said, you're going to have to fix that. And he said, no, I like it. So now there's a paw print, a very light paw print. But Fletcher has been immortalized in our walkway.
Well, of course.
And I thought, of course, it was perfect. And then the dog had to walk over it.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this Hank Blue out again. And I'm going to do below there. And then I'm going to get the fluff out again. And then I am going to kind of mix the color a little bit.
So you're going to do that transition.
Try anyway. Yay. See what happens here. So I'm trying to fix my glue and my imperfect painting. So kind of working with two brushes to blend them together. if you can see, that's what I'm trying to do. And then
We got
Nickie,
all
if
the
you can
gold.
show, look how pretty that looks.
Let me
You
get this
see,
out.
let me pull this up a little. That looks really pretty.
Thank you. Yeah, all right, I'm going to try this on the back before I do it on the front so that if I mess it up. We have Mason-Dixon Gray, because I like a contrast.
And that is a pretty shade. It has a little like
another
purpley tint to it.
Another of my favorite color combinations is pink and gray, besides the turquoise and the dark pink. So,
Just looking for.
do you have a piece of paper or another paper towel?
Yeah, there's paper towels right in the sink in there. You can just bring the roll if you want, because I'm kind of a mess. So this is interesting because I'm kind of painting glue in with my paint. It's kind of like the way this is all mixing together. Longest live ever.
You really got into this box.
Yeah, we did. We appreciate you still hanging in there with us.
Yes,
still
thank you. See, we did need like that oven that they pull the baked cake, or the cake that's already baked. We need to time lapse. See, this stuff doesn't just happen in an instant. It takes time.
Yeah. Okay, I'm really digging the way this is looking. This is just the bottom part, so I'll do the top part of it. And I'll show you guys here in a second what I'm doing.
Now, this mud, how long does it normally take to dry?
It depends. Usually you could have it dry in a couple hours.
Okay.
Sometimes I use the heat gun and speed it up a little bit.
Now, because I did that spackly kind of texture, I can't brush because I'll knock all my points off.
Right.
So I have to
dab. Do you want a different brush for that, or do you work good with that one? I'm just using all the brushes here.
Okay. Yeah, I went to get the boxes at Hobby Lobby, and I was asked, is it okay to send you there? Because the last time that I went just to get $40 or $60 in supplies, and I spent $175. I get stuck when they go on a sale and everything is half off, and then my calculator does not work.
Yeah, I know.
Then I'm like, oh, well, it's half. Then I might as well not add. I might as well just keep putting stuff in my basket. And because, it's half, I'll get 2 of everything.
Yeah. Sure.
But I said, no, I'm just going to get the boxes. So
proud of you.
I was a lot of self-control. I'm going to try.
I have one little piece I missed with mud, but oh well. I'm going to cover it with paint. None the wiser. All right. Now I'm a little afraid to do this part, but I'm still going to do it. So I'm going to mix a little bit of that in there. I like the way it's turning out. I need a topper. What am I going to do for a topper? I think we can just do a rose, a couple roses.
As I say, flowers or.
But you know what? I'm not going to make everybody wait. I'm going to finish that part later and post it.
Some pictures.
Yeah, you can finish yours and we'll
show you the finished.
Yeah.
It was the eyelashes. The eyelashes put it over.
Yeah, it was the eyelashes.
Darn it, Wish. I went crazy. I had gone to one of my other loves, Surplus City.
Oh yeah.
And they had old military laundry bags. And I bought a couple of them. And I made a bag. Like a kind of like a
tote.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of folded it down so that it was the part that scrunched. It kind of almost like how you would measure a hem for pants.
Yeah.
Did that and then just sewed it. And then I took, they were actually exercise straps that you attach to a door.
Okay.
And almost like a big like a men's belt.
Yeah.
The woven ones. And I made that into my straps.
That's cool.
But I took a bunch of patches I had. Just random patches. Like one was my older son when he took ice skating at Galactic Ice, his snowplow award.
Oh, okay.
And just different funky patches and put them on. Well, I got on Wish and I found lapel pins.
Ah.
And I went crazy. Well, they shipped most of them individually.
Oh.
Because of course they don't come from all the same shop or company or whatever. So for weeks and weeks, I was getting one pin at a time.
That's the fun.
But yeah, that was one of the, I'm like, oh, there's another pin. And then now I have more pins than I can fit on my bag. And the bag is exceptionally heavy and there's nothing in it. But it's adorable. So I just bring people over to my house and say, look at this cute bag I have that I can't carry because it hurts my shoulder. It's too heavy. But I found on there they had, because the first time I did it, of course, I would knock the backs off when I stuck my hand in.
Oh, yeah.
And they sell little backs. And I bought like 3 packs of them that were 60 pieces for like $1.19. But you take the world's tiniest Allen wrench and put them on the back and they tighten and they're anchors. So now I don't knock them off, but I still can't carry the bag because I can't lift it. But trust me, it's adorable.
Oh, I'm peeling glue off of my fingers. Okay, so I'm going to show you mine.
I'm just going to get this one piece done here, and then we kind of have the front of it.
I feel like I should have, I don't know. This cake might not be done. I don't know. I feel like there's more to it. More to come. Oh boy, there's some glue dripping down. So you can see this. There we go. It's kind of like faded a little bit it's blended into the other colors, the fluff and the Caribbean blue and the haint blue.
Very pretty.
And there's where the swags meet. There's the roses.
I love your shabby chic-esque aesthetic.
Thank you. I'm not always shabby chic. Sometimes a
but
little
country or steampunk.
I this gun cabinet I got. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to paint it. I just can't wait. As a matter of fact, I can't wait so much that even though I have a bunch of other stuff to do, it might be Saturday's video. So I do
I
step
might
by
just bump
step.
everything.
Well, I can't do that, but I can do Saturdays
So
step by step.
gray
Oh, that looks
with our
awesome.
Gold.
That looks
It
really
doesn't go the
cool.
whole way around yet, but
Yes.
we don't want to keep you any longer.
Yeah, it's about time to sign off. Just hit a minute 40 or an hour and 40 minutes. Minute 40. All right. Well, thank you so much. And yes, please tune in Saturday and we'll have to do the guest thing again. And I thank you so much for being my guest
Thank
tonight.
you for having me.
And stop by La Vintage Decor and check out Just Art by Nickie. And have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Remember to subscribe.
Yes, please. Okay. Bye.